Today we are going to start our stone soup, and I'm hoping we get to the background and the pot and then get that glued down today, possibly getting to the actual soup portion, but I'm not intending or expecting any of you to get that far today. So this is a fun little tale. It's a European folk tale about sharing, and I love it. So I think it's a great one. So we'll have that read to us first, and then you're going to get these two papers. So this orange piece that I happen to choose this time, this is going to be your background, okay? So the background in our case is going to be like a tablecloth. So first thing I'm going to do, Mrs. K, 5- and your teacher's name, and then I'm going to turn it over. And I used oil pastels for this, so you could have a striped cloth, it could be a polka dot, you could have flowers on it, whatever you want. It's your project. So I'm gonna kind of do the same thing. I'm gonna do the plaid. So with the plaid, I started off with the oil pastels, just drawing lines across. If you wanna first do this with pencil, then by all means, do it with pencil. But I just went straight to it. So I'm gonna add a light blue right next to the dark blue. I'm not worrying about it being perfect. It's just my background. I could add another color in here too if I wanted to. My other one I just did, well, I did 3, I guess, too. So that must be my thing. So I just did 3 stripes. It's kind of messing with my eyes right now. Then I'm gonna turn it around and do the same thing. I can use the same colors. I can use different colors. So let's say if I'm going to use the same colors, I'm going to start off with the dark blue like I did. In my other sample, I used different colors my second time around. And then I went to the light blue. So I'm keeping this one the same pattern as I did the other way. But boy, do I have to blink my eyes on this one. The contrast is really messing with my eyesight. Okay. So I'm finished with that part, and that's my background, okay? And then I'm gonna get my paper, and then we are going to use I have a 3 and a 3.5. The 3 is for the inside of the bowl of the soup, and the 3.5 is for the outside. So make sure you get 3.5. It doesn't have to be right there at the edge because you are gonna have handles. So I'm just gonna kind of place it in there, hold it down, and make my circle. And then I'm gonna have the handles. So the sample, they have the handles drawn separately, but I am gonna draw them on here. So I'm gonna draw on each side this kind of, and you probably can't see it really well, but you will see it in just a bit. But I did like a kind of a rectangle. Then you're gonna use China marker, black, or not black, but white colored pencil works. Just please don't pull this, because just leave it up to me and I will peel it back so you can see the white. But I'm gonna go like this and just kind of outline my bowl, or my pot of soup, I should say. And I like to turn the paper so that I have a nice consistency. And then I'm gonna add my handle, and then the inside of the handle. Same thing on the outside-ish. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay, and then once you have the handle, you will cut that out, and then you will glue it to your paper. So if that's as far as you get to cutting it out, then you are good. If we can get a little bit farther, great, but do not worry about it. So I'm getting this all cut. The extra piece, I can just recycle it. I'll have my recycling can out for you guys to place it in. So that would be in the recycling. To cut in here, these little areas, there's a couple ways you can do it. One way would be to cut in one side of it, and then cut out the inside. Okay, and then we'll later glue it on. Or if you don't want that, you can fold it. So watch your fingers, please. And I cut in the inside, so now you have a little hole. And then stick the end of your scissors in there, and then cut it out this way. Either way gives me the same outcome. It's just whether you want to have that little crease in the side or not, okay? Then when I'm ready to glue it on, I'm gonna turn this over. We're using so much glue, guys. So let's just dip our stick in there, make sure it's not dripping. You can turn it around. You only need to put glue kind of around the outside. And you can go back in and dip it, that's fine. But you do not need any glue in the middle, okay? There's no need, and you have to have every little section done. Then in the outside here, a little bit of glue there, just so I have something that where I cut, definitely want some glue in there, and maybe a little bit on the outside there. Okay, that is more than enough glue for this. And then I kind of want to arrange it, and where you cut it, you just kind of place it there, hold it down. Honestly, if you put the amount of glue that I have, you're safe putting it in your folder. But if you use too much glue, I'd put it on the drying rack, or if you shimmied it and moved it around and glue came out, I would put it on the drying rack and I will turn it in for you, okay? And then when you're finished, you wanna scrape the excess and return the lid, okay? If you finish this part today, if you want to start the actual soup drawing of that, you can. So I'll have the separate paper, but this time you wanna use a smaller one, okay? So the outside one was 3.5, the inside one is 3. So you'll place this on here, and I'll have probably square sheets for you guys that are better. Okay, write your name and class code on it. Then we have this sheet here. It gives you some ideas of maybe you want to have a carrot right in here. Okay, you can have a pea in the pod. Maybe that one's kind of opened, or maybe you can see the peas in the pod, little part there. You can have, I don't know, let's see, broccoli. There's a broccoli floret, and then the part here, maybe you have another floret here. Looks like little mini trees in ours. Mushrooms, that's one of my favorites. Mushrooms there. Okay, you can keep repeating whatever you like. So you're gonna fill what you want in your stone soup. And then we'll do the color next time.